Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm doing my top 5 underrated maps in Call of Duty Zombies history. So these are maps that are just underrated because either they're extremely hated and don't deserve all the hate, or people always look at them and they're like, they're an okay map, but they're actually like A tier. Yet again, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree with it, that's fine. You can respectfully let me know in the comment section below what you disagree with, because it's just my opinion. We have different opinions, different tastes in maps. But anyway, number 5. Can't believe I'm going to talk about this map. We got Blood of the Dead. Blood of the Dead gets an unnecessary amount of shit. The reason it's not higher on this list is because it's not a great map. It's not even like a good map. It's just an average map that gets slammed in F tier or low D tier all the time. So let's take a step back. Don't look at Blood of the Dead as Mob of the Dead's little brother. Don't look at it as a Mob of the Dead sequel. Just look at Blood of the Dead as its own map, and then you're like, it's not that bad. Yet again, my perspective is going to be slightly skewed because I am not an Easter egg guy. Not at all. I hate Easter eggs. Any Easter egg that takes more than like half an hour, I'm like, boo. I'm not doing that. That shit sucks. And I know Blood has the most like atrocious Easter egg ever. I've seen it. Oh my god, why? But rather than that, like, what aspects of Blood are bad? It's got a magma gat. That's really cool. I like the Warden's Office addition to the map. I don't really like the new industry placement. Like, I hate how you like do the whole new industry thing, and then you have to like go over that entire catwalk and down the front into the prison. I literally think like that entire beginning area should be under the prison. I played a custom map actually where like the spawn room was under the prison. I think that was really cool. I literally think they should have done something like that, but put it under the prison instead of, a mile away. But overall, Blood is not that bad of a map. Like, honestly, if I look at the BO4 maps, I would look at Blood and be like, maybe I'll give Blood a little bit of a run. I just literally think it catches so much shit because it's Mob of the Dead sequel. If you don't look at it like that, it is not a bad map. Yet again, it's not a good map. Don't get it twisted. It's like high average, low good. And at number 4, Tagder Toten. Yet again, this follows the same thing as Blood, where not necessarily, that is a Call of the Dead remake. Like, that's part of it. But what I'm more saying is, like, it has one thing that everybody gripes on. Because, Blood of the Dead, it's like Mob of the Dead 2, if you want to say that. And everybody's like, oh, it's not as good as Mob, it sucks. Tagder Toten, yeah, it's Call of the Dead 2, if you want to say that. But that's not what it gets hit hard for. Because a lot of people like that Call of the Dead was in BO1. Then we didn't have Call of the Dead reimagined or remastered because BO1 and BO4 were so far apart. So the thing that Tag gets hit for is that this is where the end of the Ether storyline was supposed to be, I guess. Like, I'm just saying that in case it really hardcore comes back. And the ending of Ether was very questionable. I kind of just feel like, it's so hard because watching that cutscene was probably like the saddest I've ever felt watching a show, movie, any of that. Like, I don't really get emotional at movies. I didn't get emotional during this, but I kind of just watched that cutscene for the first time and like just thought back to the 12 years of Zombies I played and how it had such a poetic ending, how Nikolai went from the drunk Russian dude who literally just screamed about vodka. He was just a clown. He was literally the town jester. And then he just becomes this, like, savant of a character who understands the Chronorium, understands the responsibility he has as part of the Ether crew to, like, end this whole zombie apocalypse thing. With the Apothecans and all that, the story. Well, most of you probably do. I actually like the ending of the map because it just shows, like, actual character progression, which I didn't expect to get out of a Zombies video game. But for those people who didn't like it, they let that ruin the map. I don't like the Tundra gun. I don't like the Sniper Waff. And yes, that does take away from the map a bit, but at least you get the Thunder gun back. Overall, I like the factory area too. What is it called? Is it called Factory? Wherever you zip line up. I think that was a really cool addition to the map because it just felt entirely different. And like, honestly, it was an actual good expansion of the map. As a high rounder, this map was, this is my highest round in Call of Duty Zombies history. I got to round 225 flawless, and then I ended my game because I was just so tired of it. But it's just not a fun high round map because it's so easy for high rounds. Like, if I ever do a top 5 easiest high rounds, Tagder Toten's number 1 because you can just camp in front of the power window and get to around 100 in sub 3 hours easily, even sub 2, and there's only one place that the zombies come from. But overall, people gripe on the story too much and then don't actually enjoy the gameplay because they're like, oh, the storyline like sucks. The storyline ended here. I didn't like how it ended. I wanted to put this at number 1, but there are actually maps that deserve the higher spots because this is my second favorite map of all time. Yes, we're talking about Moon Chronicles from Moon BO3. I've talked about this map a million times, so I'll keep it short. What are the problems with the Moon? The jank zero gravity and the Cosmonaut. It made the anti-gravity not jank, and then you can kill the Cosmonaut easily with AATs, like instantly, on any round. Yes, excavators are annoying, but like, just throw a Gersh and hack it. It's not that bad. So Moon is a really cool idea of a map. You know, you're on the moon, the concept's cool. The wave gun is my favorite wonder weapon of all time, probably my favorite weapon. The wave gun is so much fun. I love BO1 Moon too, but I get annoyed anytime I play it because BO1 Moon does something to kind of piss me off, whether that be the zero gravity getting me killed because I'm flying through the air, or the Cosmonaut grabs me and while I'm shooting him, because I react quick enough to start shooting him, I can't shoot him with 50 rounds in half a second, so then I still get hit. But BO3 fixed that. I really think Moon Chronicles never got a true chance because most people are like, oh, I hated Moon on BO1. Because Moon on BO1's hard. It's a hard map. So then they never just gave it a chance. I think Moon Chronicles is such a big glow up. At number 2, I have 5 from Black Ops 1. I understand that it's harder, but those harder maps are really fun sometimes because they, one, train you to be better at the game. Like, you know, you actually try to like learn to get better. You know, instead of just hopping in and casually playing, you're like, okay, I want to improve at the game. Let me pick a harder map where I really have to learn to spawn control in tight areas. I don't have a wonder weapon that can save me at any point. You know, just shoot in the corner with a thunder gun, you just everything in front of you is gone. Even though 5 was originally supposed to have the thunder gun, but that's its own argument. The 5 setting is amazing. The Pentagon Thief is not that hard of a boss. He's a great addition to the map. I love him so much. The Winter's Howl is straight poo-poo. We understand that. But yet again, the hard maps just get destroyed for some reason because most people are casual players. So these really hard maps, especially on BO1, like Shang also gets hit pretty hard because it's a hard map on a hard game and a hard engine, and it's just hard for a casual to really want to enjoy it. So that's why 5 is kind of hit really hard in some areas. You either just love it or hate it. No one ever really puts 5 in the middle. It's either, I like it, it's a good map, or it's so hard, it's too tight, I don't have anything working in my favor, which is true. But it's one of those maps that you can just hop in and play for an hour and a half, and you had a good-ass game. It's not like, alright, well, if I want to get to a respectable round, I gotta play for the next 6 hours. Yet again, I understand why a lot of people get annoyed by 5. I think it's underrated. And at number 1, dude, this is so far ahead in number 1, it's not even close. Like, number 2 and number 1 are one number apart, but the actual gap is huge here. Number 1 by a mile, Dead of the Night. Yet again, most of the community is casuals, especially since BO4 was a very casual heavy game. So when you have a map where there's like 83 part locations, the casual player just like folds, because Dead of the Night is not a hard map if you understand how to like get through the map easily, efficiently, get your buildables as early as possible, what you should focus on with your points. But for the casual player, it's like, oh, there's so much to build. You can understand it quicker than you think because all the parts are in like the same general area, and once you pick up on that, the general areas, you find the locations, you pick up on the locations, and then you kind of just remember. Also, the werewolf from Dead of the Night is one of the best bosses in COD Zombies history. The Nosferatus can kiss my ass. I don't like them. The Alistair's Foley, that turns into the Chaos Theory. That turns in the Alistair's Annihilator. Such a good and fun wonder weapon. What other wonder weapon in COD history did we have multiple upgrades to? Like, I'm not saying like the Blunder Gat where you can pack a punch it and then make it the Acid Gat. I'm talking like there's the Alistair's Foley, which directly goes into the Chaos Theory, which you can directly make into the Alistair's Annihilator. And with the Alistair's Annihilator, when you use your charge shot, there's 4 different abilities, and you don't know which one's going to come out. It adds a lot of just fun because you have this like ray gun blundergat hybrid that once you upgrade, you have this like ice staff, lightning bow, random effect, kind of like the gauntlet of Charon, whatever you want to call it. Like that green ability is kind of like that same, you know, you create a puddle and anything that runs near the puddle gets sucked in. Also, the setting's just so weird and cool. It's like one of those settings that's slightly uncomfortable because we're comfortable in the grungy settings of Kino and Noct. We're comfortable in the settings, you know, the brighter, nice ones of Shadows and stuff like that. This is a brighter setting, obviously, but it's just kind of eerie. You're in this weird mansion. I personally really enjoyed the settings map, even though I'm a very like grungy setting kind of guy, like dirty, grungy, nasty zombie apocalypse setting. This map always was just so eerie to me, and I really enjoyed it. But anyway, that's my top 5 most underrated maps of Call of Duty Zombies history. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you disagree or agree with any opinions, let me know respectfully in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.